Are raiding the last known hideout of escaped rapist and murderer Thabo Bester. Bester on the run after escaping from the Correctional Centre in Bloemfontein last May after faking his own death. eNCA Silindelo Masikane has been on the story. She joins me now from Hyde Park. Slee, good evening to you once more. You've been outside now for an hour or so. Have you been able to glean any more information about exactly what police are searching for?
In fact, Sally, I am still trying to get the police to, in the very least, perhaps give us an idea as to what would have made them obtain a search warrant for this premises about 3 weeks later, after we understand Dr. Nandipe and Thabo Bester fled from their hideout here in Hyde Park. Of course, they've been living in this multi-million rand mansion for at least 10 months now, since Bester escaped from Mangaung prison, but we understand Dr. Nandipe as well as Bester signed for this property back in 2020. We understand Bester at the time was using the alias TK Nkwana to sign the lease for the property. We know that during the viewing of the property, Dr. Nandipe had Bester on a video call as they walked through trying to decide if they were going to actually take up the property and lease it. They've been leasing it for about 60,000 rand a month, and we know that even after they fled, they actually fled, leaving most of their belongings inside. And we know that a couple of days after them fleeing from this premises, we know that we understand that either it's bouncers or private security people actually came here to collect that property. But of course, they found that the gates were locked. They then proceeded to try and unchain them. We know there was a bit of a scuffle between, ADT as well as those that were trying to get into this property. But of course, they did get it and left. But all we know, Sally, is that it seems new information has been obtained. Perhaps there is something in this house that may assist police in the manhunt for Bester as well as Dr. Nandipe, as well as anyone else who is, connected to the escape of Bester from Mangaung Correctional Service. But I do want to take you to a statement, in fact, that I've received via text from the spokesperson for the SAPS. It reads, as the SAPS, we are reiterating that we won't at this stage give a blow-by-blow update on the progress of investigations. We once again urge the media to give the detectives space to do their work. Regards. So that's the statement from the police, not telling us why we're seeing officials inside who, of course, dressed in protective gear. Meaning there is some kind of forensic evidence that we understand that's being collected. A little bit earlier on, I actually saw a few of them taking pictures outside of the house. In fact, taking pictures of, the numbering of the house, anything really, the streets that it's on as well, Sally. So at this point, it's still a waiting game, but we are hoping to push the police to just give us any more information. I was actually speaking to some of the neighbors here who were passing by and they saw our cameras. Some of them saying, they do remember seeing, fancy cars in the driveway. And in fact, what they're most concerned about is the fact that, authorities never alerted the public as soon as they knew that Bester had escaped. They never alerted the public, to be aware that a convicted murderer and a rapist was on the loose. So for many of the neighbors here in Hyde Park, they've just been really concerned around their own safety and the safety of the public. So at this stage, Sally, all I have for you is that the police as well as forensics are actually still inside. I see one of them actually near a car. I'm not sure if Nuku will be able to show you. I'm going to just ask him to, even if he can just move with his tripod. We're seeing actually more and more officials coming to the home as well. There's a car that's actually just that's approaching the gate right now, but I'm going to try and ask Nuku to just move a little closer for you, Sally, just to give you a sense as to what we're seeing right now. It does seem as though there are more officials arriving. There's a car just in front of us, so we're just trying to work our way around it. just to give you a sense of what we're seeing happening inside. I'm sure any moment now this gate is going to open. And remember, Sally, next door, in fact, Bester and Nandipa were renting that property, leasing that property as well, and we're planning to open yet another aesthetics business from that premises as well.
I mean, we're looking at your visuals now, and everyone's wearing these white suits. They've all got gloves on, which suggests, and we are really guessing here, but that they are picking up potential small bits of evidence. You know, maybe they're taking fingerprints. It looks like they may even have evidence boxes there. I mean, it's very hard to say exactly what they're looking for, particularly in the light of the fact that many journalists have gained access to this property, you among them, and have wandered through. So surely any sensitive forensic information might have been trampled into dust by now. But as the police have told you, Slee, they're not going to give a blow-by-blow on exactly what they're doing, but they are clearly moving with a great deal of intent and focus, given the amount of people at this house, to clearly try and investigate something that, as you suggest, may be new information. Slee, thank you so much. We're going to leave it there for now. I'm sure you will let us know as soon as there are any more developments, but this is currently happening at the former home of Thabo Bester and Dr. Nandipa Magudumane, and of course both of them are believed to be on the run together. No one really knows where they are. So many questions that remain to be answered. And today,